For some inexplicable reason, I believed it was merely another ordinary afternoon. It was one of those days when serenity enveloped the world and tranquility reigned supreme. After a long day at work, fatigue enveloped me, prompting the decision to indulge in a soothing, hot bath. The soothing warmth of the water enveloped me, while the gentle steam transformed the modest bathroom into a haven of comfort and security. Little did I know that in mere moments, my entire existence would be irrevocably altered. The silence in the house was unsettling. The faint murmur of the television drifted in from the adjacent room, where my sister Timmy's mother was likely engrossed in her beloved program. For a few days now, my nephew Logan has been residing with me. He tends to be a reserved and well-behaved young man. Despite his kindness, there lingered an elusive quality about him that consistently stirred a sense of unease within me, though I couldn't quite identify its source. As I sank further into the bath, the soothing warmth enveloped me, easing the tension in my muscles. I shut my eyes and released a deep sigh. The week had been tumultuous, leaving me yearning for a respite, a chance to escape and let go of it all. However, the moment I closed my eyes, a gentle, rustling noise drifted in from next door. Initially, it didn't seem significant to me. I considered the possibility that it was merely the house settling or a breeze causing the windows to tremble. Yet again, I caught the sound, this time a subtle footfall, as if someone were stealthily approaching the bathroom. I stood still, my breath caught in my throat, as my heart raced in an unexpected rhythm. The bathroom door was locked, providing me a false sense of safety, or so I believed. The footsteps grew louder, and soon the unmistakable sound of the doorknob turning reached my ears. It caused a pang of discomfort in my stomach. Who was present? Might it be Noah? I uttered his name, yet there was no response. Uncertainty gripped me as I stood there, caught between the decision to wait or to push the door open. The weight of the tension was unbearable. The water had offered a soothing embrace just moments before, yet now it felt constricting as my thoughts surged and spiraled. Were they the subjects of a prank, or was there something far more sinister at play? I then heard the gentle, hushed tones of Timmy's voice calling out to me. "Aunt." He murmured with such quietude that his words barely reached my ears. A shiver coursed through me. Yet, what compelled him to whisper? He had never resonated with such clarity before. My heart raced, and I endeavored to maintain my composure, despite the sudden weight of the air around me, thick with tension. That was the knowledge I sought. At long last, I emerged from my confines. "What is it, Timmy?" Despite the slight tremor in my voice, he finally broke the silence, after a lengthy pause. "I find myself in need of you." His tone lacked the innocent curiosity typical of a child's request. Rather, it took on a more urgent tone, almost as if it were begging. As I inhaled deeply, my fingers clenched the porcelain, gripping the edge of the tub with a sense of urgency. Were my thoughts spiraling out of control, or had Timmy's demeanor taken a turn for the worse? "Step inside," I finally urged, breaking the silence that lingered between us. As I pivoted, my gaze fell upon him, a diminutive silhouette framed by the brilliance of the doorway. The door creaked open, revealing what lay beyond. I recognized him as my beloved nephew, yet there was an unsettling quality in his gaze. There was a shadowy quality to them, as if he were concealing a secret. I blinked, caught in a haze of uncertainty, whether it was fatigue or overthinking that clouded my mind. Yet, as he approached, an undeniable sensation coursed through me, sending a shiver across my skin. His face contorted, not in a playful manner, but in a way that was entirely unique and unfamiliar. Aunt Logan spoke in a hushed tone. "Just when I believed you would take notice," he inched nearer to the rim of the tub. "Your schedule is perpetually packed, yet I find myself in need of your presence at this very moment." His manner of speaking was unsettling, and his words seemed to lack coherence. A wave of nausea washed over me, for that boy was neither my cousin nor the familiar face I once recognized. It was not a pastime suited for the young. My thoughts urged me to take action, yet my body remained still. As Logan stepped closer, his presence made the air grow colder, sending a shiver down my spine. I yearned to distance myself from him, yet I found myself unable to do so. He spoke in an oddly serene and unwavering tone. "I've waited a long time to talk to you." His tone was urgent and unsettling. The atmosphere was so charged that each breath felt like a struggle. What was unfolding? What prompted Logan to behave in this manner? Had he merely been playing a game, or had something within him shifted? Maintaining my composure proved to be a challenge, as fear and confusion enveloped me. A palpable sense of unease hung in the air. To escape, I found myself needing to exit the bathroom. Though my body urged me to rise and flee, I found myself rooted in place, unable to stir. Logan approached, his expression intense, placing a cold hand on my arm that startled me. He whispered again, his voice faint. "I just need to talk to you." There was an unmistakable quality to his voice that sent a shiver down my spine. His words resonated with a mesmerizing quality, yet they lacked any trace of affection or warmth. Rather, there was an odd tranquility that defied all logic. In that instant, it dawned on me that this was no ordinary family moment. The essence was not rooted in familial affection or the joys of childhood play. This was a far more troubling matter. My mind was a whirlwind of questions. What caused such a rapid transformation in him? What was happening with him? Is it possible that I overlooked something important earlier that I should have noticed? In my quest to unravel the complexities surrounding me, a chilling realization struck. I may never truly grasp the reality of the situation. The unfolding events bore no explanation, nor did they shed light on Timmy's peculiar demeanor. My mind was consumed by the chilling realization that the boy I once believed I understood had vanished, leaving behind a stranger, or perhaps something far more unsettling in his place. Timothy's fingers clasped my wrist, holding it firmly in place. His grip constricted with increasing intensity, rendering me immobile. Paralyzed by fear and engulfed in confusion, I found myself unable to heed my instincts, despite the undeniable urge to escape whatever held me captive. I murmured, begging softly, though my voice trembled with uncertainty. "What are your plans? What is it that you require?" Yet he remained silent. His gaze remained fixed on me, imbued with a chilling resolve. It became evident that he had no intention of allowing me to escape. I struggled to break free from his hold, yet there was an undeniable force in Timmy's gaze that ensnared me, as if he had woven a spell around my very being. My heart pounded in my chest, urging me to flee. As I wrestled with my thoughts, seeking an escape, the atmosphere weighed heavily around me, stifling and oppressive, with Timmy's presence ever looming. He leaned in and said, "You're not listening to me." His voice resonated with a depth that sent shivers down my spine. As his hand rested on my arm, it gradually ascended, as though he were gauging my reaction. A surge of frustration welled up inside me, urging me to shout and shove him aside, yet the words remained trapped in my throat. What could possibly be his motivation for this action? Where has the sweet, innocent boy gone who once looked up to me? Once, Logan embodied kindness, shyness, and a curiosity for the world around him, but now it felt as though an unseen force had claimed his essence. As the bathroom door let out another creak, I spun around, hoping to catch a glimpse of my sister. Yet, the hallway lay empty, and the faint sound of footsteps drifted in from outside, distant and elusive. We found ourselves as the last remaining souls. It was clear that I needed to act with urgency. I attempted once more to dislodge Timmy's grip, yet he proved to be more formidable than I had anticipated. His grip tightened, sending a wave of panic coursing through me. The warm water once brought me solace, yet now it enveloped me in a sensation of sinking. Logan drew closer, his icy breath brushing against my neck. In a hushed, unsettling tone, he declared, "You're part of this now, and you always have been." I have been anticipating your comprehension of his words. It sent a chill down my spine, looming above me like a dense, oppressive shadow. It had transcended the realm of mere childhood amusement. It possessed an essence that was both shadowy and perilous. A sharp intake of breath escaped me as a whirlwind of thoughts surged through my mind. He wielded no influence over me. I found myself compelled to resist. Yet, what was truly happening with him? Upon his visage, I sought a trace of the nephew I once cherished, the boy who reveled in laughter, engaged in playful antics, and yearned for bedtime tales. Yet, all that met my gaze was the countenance of a distant, calculating stranger. My mind drifted to the small shampoo bottle perched on the rim of the tub. In a moment of impulse, I seized it and hurled it towards Timmy. It struck him squarely in the chest, momentarily shattering his concentration. In that fleeting moment, I recoiled from him and ascended from the tub, yet the water churned violently and my legs felt feeble. "Don't run away from me," Logan exclaimed, his voice laced with anger. As he advanced, his eyes gleamed with a vibrant new brilliance. I returned, gripped by an overwhelming fear. He had moved. Beyond mere attempts to instill fear in me, he sought to inflict pain upon me. My mind was a whirlwind, desperately seeking an escape route. I found myself unable to linger in the bathroom, yet the thought of venturing into the rest of the house felt equally perilous. What if he pursued me? What if I lacked the strength to put an end to him? Fear enveloped me as I clutched a towel, wrapping it tightly around myself in a futile attempt to find solace, yet it offered no comfort at all. Timmy's resolve was unmistakable as he advanced another step closer to me. In his eyes, fear was absent, replaced instead by a chilling, emotionless mastery. I pleaded softly, my voice trembling with emotion. "This does not reflect who you are. I cannot fathom what has taken hold of you." Logan remained silent when I pleaded for him to cease. As he reached out once more, his grip on my arm was so fierce that I feared he might shatter it before I had a chance to escape. In that instant, the overwhelming fear consumed me. It appeared as though my words fell on deaf ears. It seemed as though the boy I once knew had been wiped from existence, replaced by a shadowy and perilous presence. Suddenly, a memory resurfaced within me. It lingered in the distance, barely perceptible, yet it appeared to possess the essence of clarity needed to unravel the unfolding mystery. Reflecting on the past few weeks, I recalled Timmy's peculiar demeanor, his odd dreams, unusual behavior, and a noticeable shift in his attitude. These changes had sparked conversations, yet at the time, they were brushed aside, overlooked by those around him. At last, everything falls into place. He had not merely traversed a fleeting moment in time. An unusual occurrence had befallen him. I found it necessary to depart. I needed to persevere through this challenge. Through the door, I could just discern my sister's words, yet the distance rendered me powerless to assist. Only Logan and I stood in the midst of this battle. My strength stemmed from my fear. I was compelled to battle, regardless of the circumstances. With every ounce of strength I possessed, I wrenched my arm from Timmy's hold. As I shoved him away, a fleeting sense of liberation washed over me. In an instant, he leaped ahead with a swiftness that took me by surprise. His hand encircled my wrist, drawing me back toward him with a strength that seemed almost otherworldly. I seized the shampoo bottle once more, wielding it like a weapon, and struck it against his face in a desperate attempt to disorient him, hoping for a chance to escape. He faltered, a flicker of confusion crossing his features, but soon his gaze sharpened, igniting with an even more unsettling resolve. "What compels you to resist?" Logan inquired. His voice carried an unusual calmness, as if he were reprimanding me. "You matter to me. I've always felt close to you." His grip on me loosened ever so slightly, and I seized that fleeting opportunity. I leaped from the tub, securing a towel snugly around my body, dismissing the chill of the air that enveloped me. My legs trembled, yet a surge of adrenaline coursed through my veins. My heart raced as I sprinted toward the bathroom door. I found it necessary to part ways with him, allowing solitude to envelop him. The burden of what had overtaken Logan was more than I could bear alone. As I flung the door wide, I found my sister poised on the threshold, drawn in by the clamor that filled the air. Her expression was one of fear, yet I found myself without the luxury of time to offer an explanation. Time slipped away, leaving no room for words. "Tyler," I called out, but by the time I spun around, he had vanished. The bathroom appeared untouched, as if nothing had transpired within its confines. My sister hurried to my side, yet I found myself at a loss for words, unable to articulate the whirlwind of sensations and visions that had just unfolded before me, for they defied all logic. The adorable child named Timmy, who once reveled in play, had vanished. He had transformed into something sinister. While my sister endeavored to lift my spirits, I noticed a fleeting shadow of Logan observing from the hallway. In the muted glow, his shadowy eyes glimmered, and an unsettling sensation washed over me, as if he were lurking nearby. Uncertainty loomed over the horizon, yet one truth stood resolute. The conclusion had not yet arrived. The days that followed grew increasingly peculiar. Despite the house's altered atmosphere and Timmy's increasingly erratic demeanor, the others remained blissfully unaware. My sister dismissed my concerns as craziness or overthinking when I attempted to share what had transpired, despite my genuine worry. Yet, deep within me, I understood that Logan had transcended the bounds of ordinary childhood. A lingering sense of unease enveloped me, for I understood that the darkness consuming Logan was not something that could be extinguished with mere effort. I held a firm belief that, in due time, others would come to recognize the truth, yet by that moment, it could very well be too late. If you wish to uncover what unfolds next, kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel. This tale is far from finished. Much more awaits on the horizon.